everyone, our project is Sell It Out, a data-driven tour strategy for the artist Audrey Nuna, and our goal was to create a tour strategy for her with insights based on her current audience and which U.S. cities she would most likely have a successful U.S. headline tour in.
Okay, so I'm assuming y'all can hear me now. The artist Audrey Nuna her stage name is Audrey Nuna and her real name is Audrey Chu. She's Japanese American and she's a singer and a rapper mainly in the R&B genre. She's signed to Arista Records and she has collabed with some big names in the industry. She recently released her sophomore album called Trench in October of last year.
And our strategy for doing this is looking at data sources across touring, social media, and audience to ultimately design a strategy with recommendations for a US-based tour.
In 2023, Audrey supported Ashnikko on the Weed Killer Tour. Audrey joined 20 out of 36 US tour dates. And we looked at the top US cities for Spotify listeners at the start of the tour to see where she was starting and to compare the growth of her current audience. And these are Audrey's current top listeners based on cities. Although she had a boost in growth during the supporting dates, we also looked into general long-term growth because of things like social media. It helps share videos and performances after show, so growth is no longer just local or instant because things can gain traction on social media over time and can now reach further. The strongest audience engagement comes from major US cities, and 9 out of 14 of the cities in her top Spotify listeners are in the US, so she has enough audience to make a decent first headline tour within the US.
And this is just to show that the majority of her fan base is in America, and it just makes more sense to pilot headlining tours in America, and then for future tours, she can iterate by going global.
Yeah, according with the other information we have and we will collect for different sources, we propose these cities for the tour. And another thing we need to be important in this action is like according with the style of the buy of those cities and those particular venues. For example, the Novo in Los Angeles, we try to connect the artists with the public because it's most important thing. And when you have a presentation like that, it's like the connection just only visual is like those people go to the venues can share easily the information of videos or photos of the concert into the social media.
Yeah, so some key data we looked at for socials was TikTok likes. As we can see, she experiences a boom quite recently, and it coincides with the announcement and eventual launch of her sophomore album. And similarly with Instagram followers, we see the same pattern in late 2024, but then we also see in the summer of 2023 a little bit of a spike when she was with Ashnikko at her tour. And then we see with Ashnikko, she also experienced a little bit of a hump of growth in summer 2023, which we can attribute to her tour. So taken together, we have proposed a 10-city US-based tour across her most engaged audiences. We would propose a soon tour to ride the momentum from the social hype right now. And then also, similarly to Ashnikko, find a similar artist that can provide mutual growth for the new artist as well as Audrey. So some similar artists that her fans also listen to are Jay Stevens, Alameda, Flo, and Isla. And ultimately, this will lead to a few key results. Most notably would be strengthened and organic fans. You know, with Ashnikko, she was in association with Ashnikko, but then with her own headlining tour, people would be listening to her exclusively for her art and her talent. And secondly, it would strengthen social media growth which would allow a more organic fan base to follow her throughout her future releases as her career grows.
Sorry, Ishika, that's your time and perfect. Judges, any questions? Bryce, go ahead.
Yeah, I really like this. I'm curious, have you cross-referenced just her markets with any markets that are really picking up on Jersey club music in general? Do they match, or are there some opportunities there for you to go to some of those different markets if they're not matching where she's spiking? I was just curious.
Would one of you like to take that question?
Oh, well, I can take it. At the moment we make the research, we saw many different particular cities. We try to match according with the fans, the information we receive for the fans, especially in those particular posts where she made the question to the fans. It's like, all right, I'm on the tour. So which one of the suggestions you have for me, like an artist? And then we saw many different cities. We try to concentrate all the information in just a particular market when we know, according with metrics, it's like she had the potential to create that connection. And again, the particular cities and those particular venues is like very carefully selected to they have according with the style of his music connected with the people.
Thank you, Victor. Stephanie, go ahead.
Great job, especially like the visuals of your slides. I was wondering if there are additional data points you'd want to add in if you had time or more access to other metrics out there for her.
Yeah, I can take this one. We were ideally in a perfect touring strategy, we would also be able to find venues and the appropriate venue for each city to go to, and also what is the right opening act. There's so many different artists who can accompany her, and so it's really hard to determine which one without like more access to data and other data sources. So yeah, there's so many parts of a touring strategy, and we were only able to hit a couple of them today. But it is something that we would like to iterate on and going forward.